I guess before we get started, we're gonna need to know who the audience is. We were assuming that tonight was gonna be for new coordinators. So if you don't mind, if you would say your name and if you're a new coordinator and if you have attended the returning volunteer or the new volunteer training. That's what we need to know.
Or no classes at all, other than ours.
Hi, y'all. My name is Rosemary Ball. I'm a new assistant site coordinator. And I did the training last week, and then so far this week, I'm not sure what the returning is. I didn't do the last one last week, if that makes sense.
You did the new volunteer?
Yes.
4 days. Or 4 evenings.
I think last week was 3 days. And then I didn't go to the last one.
Okay. Next.
Hello. My name is JJ Davini. This is the first time doing site coordinator for me. I did the returning volunteer training on Saturday, and I've done all the trainings this week. Can you hear me?
So you did not do the new volunteer training?
No, I was a volunteer last year, so I did that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You say he did the returning. I got it.
I did the returning. Yep.
My name is Ramon Yusuf, returning volunteer, first year site coordinator. Did the volunteer training on Saturday and then all 3 trainings this week, this being my 3rd site coordinator training.
Next.
Monica Jeans.
Yes, ma'am. I'm currently a new volunteer. The only thing that I have done is I did the basic and the advanced.
What training have you had? Did you
I
attend
had yes, ma'am. I attended last week's training, and I'm attending this week's training.
And you're going to be a site coordinator?
Well, I want to be. That's what I'm aiming to be.
Caroline.
Yes.
This is Ella. I have 2, Alice McGee and Tanya Harrison. They every year they take the site coordinators course, and they on every year, but they never say that they're site coordinator. They're just have been trained, and they just listen to the recording every year.
Are they on the call?
Yes, they are.
They're on, Karen.
But they're not site coordinators.
Actually, when I'm running short and my husband's not there, they act as site coordinators. And they have for the last 2 or 3 years.
So have they attended, you said they have not attended any other training?
Yes, they attended all the trainings, and they've taken their certifications.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so we have what, Bianca?
Yes. I'm an assistant mobile coordinator, and I've been to all the training last week and this week.
Thank you.
Gwendolyn Barr, first time site coordinator. I did the returning. I was a volunteer last year. I did the returning training and all the training this week, and I'm going to do the greeter training tomorrow as well. And I have taken all my exams.
Thank you. So is there anyone else?
Carter. Linnell Carter.
Yes, ma'am. Linnell Carter, assistant site coordinator. I attended all training last week and a training this week, and I only need to take my advanced exam.
Okay, so let me ask you, Linnell, you said that you have taken your exams or that's all you need to do?
That's the last one I have to take is the advanced exam. I
Okay,
took all the rest of them.
thank you.
So you attended the returning volunteer?
No, ma'am, I was, from my understanding, all the new people didn't have to attend the returning volunteer, just the new volunteer on
Okay,
last week. So I didn't attend Saturday.
okay.
So we have about 4 or 5 people that attended the new and
So it's a
not the
mixture.
returning.
It's a mixture of people, really.
Yes. So I guess our next question is, I know that we've given out answers in the sessions that we've been a part of, and in the new sessions, I'm sure that they gave you answers too. So I know that as it stands right now, we're having problems with Link and Learn. But there were people prior to this glitch that they're having, some get in and some not. So I think I heard Gwen Barr say you've certified everything. Is that correct, Gwen?
Yes, ma'am. I just had to go to a different computer to get the form printed. It wouldn't do it from my tablet. So yeah, I was able to.
Okay, so is there anyone else that has already certified everything? I know Linnell says she has one on the advanced, but is there anyone else that is a part of this class that has not certified?
Denise, what do you mean by certified?
They've gone into the Link and Learn and they've taken all of the courses based on the answers that were given in our sessions.
Okay, so that's different than getting the site certification for the site itself?
And just walking the church around, lots of cars.
Excuse me?
Someone needs to mute.
Okay, what we need to know is that if they've completed their courses, then the 13615, they're able to sign off on that, and it shows that they've passed each of the courses that they've taken. So that's the certification.
I had to ask a question. We over the advanced exam, like we did some answers to the test, but are we going to finish those scenarios?
Okay, we did go over all of the answers, but that's the reason why we're here tonight. So if there's anyone who missed something, the other thing that we want to do, because for the new people, we're going to actually go into the practice lab and go over those examples so that you can see what it looks like when you actually prepare a return.
Okay.
So Bianca, you were in the new training, right? The new volunteer.
Denise,
Wait,
Yes,
wait.
ma'am.
Carol,
Okay, go
for
ahead.
those people that was in the new high class, they did not get to do the certification. In advance, they didn't.
Right,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's why we asked that question, Elder, so we'll know which way we're rolling with the people tonight, so we'll know what it
Right,
is
yeah,
that we need
they
to do.
only worked one that was number 7, scenario number 7, and that was it, and they did not finish that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yep, those answers.
Hey,
Okay.
this Gwen Walker. I've done all my certification. It sounds like I really don't need to be on the class tonight then, do I?
No, you don't.
Okay, well then you know what?
You good, girl, you good.
You've
How's
already
everybody?
certified. We were just trying to get to the new people and the
Okay.
people who had not finished their test.
Okay, well, hi, Miss Bianca. She's gonna be my assistant. And I'm gonna tell y'all, be safe,
Hello.
stay off. Hey, stay off the ground unless you lay down, not fall down. And I'm gonna sign off then.
All right, have a good night, sweetie.
Have a good night.
Good night, y'all.
All
All
right.
right.
Has everyone said what they have done?
Or what they're
Yes,
missing.
ma'am.
Yeah, I have them.
Okay, I guess we can start by asking those people who have not finished, did they have any particular questions, or did they want us to go back over something that was discussed in the other class?
Yes, this is Monica James. I would like for us to go over the advance. I didn't get all of that.
Okay, we're gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the site coordinator training, I didn't do that exam as well.
Okay.
Okay.
So Denise, this session is for those who didn't get certified.
Well, we basically, the new people, a lot of the older people have already, you know, people who were here last year and the year before, they've pretty much gotten the answers and could have been certified, with the exception of possibly not being able to get into Lincoln Learn. So we were more or less targeting those new site coordinators that are here with us for the first time.
All right then. Y'all guys have a good rest of the day.
You too. Stay as warm as you can.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, Karen.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen, and I guess we will go through the handbook. We'll touch on some things going through the handbook, and then we can go into the Lincoln Learn and TaxSlayer and look at that. Or does everybody feel comfortable in knowing what you already have learned? We had talked, last night we went through the 5088, the Pub 5088, which is the training book for site coordinators. So this 5683 is the resource book for the certification. They basically have the same information in both of them. It's just the way that they're written. So I'm just going to touch on some things coming out of here. The purpose, inform you of your obligations and expectations as a partner or coordinator, and help you effectively administer and operate your site. Okay, the coordinators should have the willingness to devote the time and effort required. You should be a strong person with a good spirit and organization skills. You should be able to recruit and retain volunteers, and a willingness to learn and use electronic tax return skills and techniques. These are some more of the responsibilities: recruiting and supervising volunteers, determining site days and hours of operation. So this book is basically going over some of the same information we talked about yesterday. So my question is, should I go through this, or do you all want to just go on to Lincoln Learn and TaxSlayer?
Lincoln Learn.
Yeah, Lincoln Learn and TaxSlayer.
Is that basically what everyone wants to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, this is the Lincoln Learn page. And in order to go into the practice lab, you have to go into this menu. But these are the other menus that you can also go into. Like I said, up under partner, here's the site coordinators corner, which you can go into and see the different hubs and the different fact sheets, different forms. This 5378 pub will tell you about how to get into Lincoln Learn. If anyone's still having problems, it will show you how you're supposed to get into Lincoln Learn. Now, there are also some information that's come out that I think Hunter has sent to everyone to show you the problems that they're having. Okay, so in order to go into, I guess we need to go into the test, Denise, you think?
As we can go into the test, I heard Ella say that the new members, the new people only did number 7. They got to number 7. So we can go into that test and perhaps from the very beginning, in case there is somebody who did not get all of the advanced, and then we will be more than happy to go to the practice lab and pull up the actual returns that were done to come up with the answers. So is that good for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that everyone does have the answers to the
First 2, first 3.
First
First
three.
3. Is there anyone who did not get the site coordinator answers? We gave those on last night, but possibly there is someone who missed out, and this is your night. Step up. We want to help you. So if there's an answer you didn't get, let us know before we go to the advance.
Sorry, this is the site coordinator test we're talking about?
Well, we're talking
Yes.
about all of them.
Yeah, any of them that,
So the only one that I never got, but I think we didn't need to do it, was the basic. I
Oh,
had
well,
the,
yeah, right. We go straight to the advance. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so everyone else is ready for the advance. You've gotten all the other 3. You've gotten the standards of conduct, intake, and the site coordinator answers.
I do. I just need the advanced scenario 8.
Okay, we're gonna go there, but I want to make sure, Bianca, I appreciate you, but I want to make sure that we all together. Is there anybody else? We don't want to leave anybody behind.
everybody has
I
taken.
do need the basic. I need
Well,
the basic as well.
You don't really need
You
the
don't-
basic,
Okay.
you just need the advance.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I do need advanced though.
Okay, do you have any of the advanced answers, Monica?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Where
you just
we
need
left
number
off was
8.
8. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay.
Okay,
I got
thank you.
Okay, so what about the site coordinators test?
I didn't get that one at all.
Are you
Okay.
the only one? Does anybody else not have the site coordinators test?
Okay, so what we're gonna do right now, just hold tight, everybody else. We're gonna go ahead on and give Bianca, is it Bianca or Monica? One of the two of you. You want the answer to the site coordinator test. So we're gonna
Yes,
go
ma'am.
ahead on, Monica, okay, we're gonna go ahead on and give you those answers. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
Okay, so for number 1, it's B. Number 2 is B. Number 3 is A. Number 4 is C. Number 5 is A. Number 6 is B. Number 7 is A. Number 8 is B. Number 9 is C. Number 10 is A. Number 11 is D. Number 12 is A. Number 13 is A. Come on up, Karen. Okay, 13 is A. Number 14 is B. And number 15 is A. Okay, so do you have all of those, everyone?
Yes, thank you.
Do we need to repeat for anyone? Okay, so we're going to go on. Okay, so from what we're hearing with is that scenario number 8 is where everybody wants to start off. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Scenario 8.
Oops.
Julia Oakley. You in there?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
her.
okay. Okay, number 8. Okay, Julia is a data entry clerk, age 26 and single. She has investment income and a consolidated broker statement. She's self-employed, delivering groceries for Quick Market on the weekend. She received a 1099 NEC and a Form 1099K. She received additional cash payments of $535. And this is important, but I'm not going to read everything. She provided a statement from the grocery delivery service indicating the fee paid for the year. These are they. She kept receipts for the following out-of-pocket expenses. She, Julia's record keeping application shows she has driven a total of 2,500 miles doing and between deliveries. And this is just showing you the different mileage and where she went. She's paying us off her student loan from 2017, which she completed her undergraduate degree. She's working toward a Master of Education degree to start a new career as associate professor. She took a few college courses this year at a accredited college. She took an early distribution of $3,000 from her IRA in April. She used $2,400 of the IRA distribution to pay for her educational expense for the current year. If she gets a refund, she would deposit it into her checking account. It's showing a Social Security number. This is the 13614C that she completed. Now, this is the 1099-R. It shows that she received $3,000 and she withheld $300. This once is saying that she's going to be penalized because she was 59 and a half younger. She was not 59 and a half. She was younger than 59 and a half. And this is checked saying that she had an IRA and she didn't have anything down at the bottom. She had a W-2 that shows her wages. All the wages are the same. Her withholding amount. This is what she put into her IRA. This is her IRA deduction. This is her retirement, her state information. This is the 1099 NEC, $1,000 for non-employee compensation, which is the Schedule C. This is the expenses. her investments. 1099B, her stocks, what she did in her stocks. Her educational forms, what she spent for a student loan. This is the payments for her education that was charged for her to pay. And this is a check that she's gonna use for direct deposit. So, who wants to take number 23?
Can I ask a question before we answer this question?
Sure.
Okay. I'm seeing that it said Julia Schedule D. Which one would be her Schedule D? What
Which one
form
now?
is that? Schedule D. Is that on a form, a certain form that she has?
When she got stocks, then
Okay.
she put those stocks on a Schedule D.
Okay. So
And it's
what form
showing-
would that be? Okay.
And it's showing that she did receive stocks. She had
Okay. So that's the okay.
short-term and long-term stocks.
Okay,
Okay,
so
good.
Karen,
Plus
she's
she had-
asking, Karen, it would be, Monica, when you go in to prepare that tax return,
Yes, ma'am.
IRS has a lot of forms. So
Okay.
the form is actually a Schedule D that
Okay.
you would pull up
Schedule D.
to input this information.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, she was asking.
Thank you.
Right, right.
Okay.
Okay, so now she asked who was going to answer number 23. And so I will answer, and then I'm going to ask you all what you think. Okay. So it says, what is the net long-term capital gain reported on Julia's Schedule D? As I just stated, it is a Schedule D. That's one of the forms, just like you have a Schedule C for a person who's in business, Schedule A if they have enough items to itemize. There is a Schedule D where you would report the stocks. So the forms that were in the scenario give you some figures. And so on one of those forms, it gave you the 1099B where it showed that there was a loss of $750. However, you have to look at that form, and I know that there's some people who say that they don't have their material, which is sort of puts you at a disadvantage. So we're going to be flipping back and forth because we want to make sure that you understand. So here Karen is right here. This right here is the two forms that relates to the Schedule D. However, you can be confused because what it's asking, the question says net long term. You don't have to go back, Karen. You don't have to go back. Go stay up there where you are. Stay up there where you are. It says net long term. So go back to that actual form, please. So on this form, it shows you, the first one says short term, right there. The next one at the bottom shows long term. Any questions thus far? Okay, so for this particular problem, the only figure that you are concerned with of these two items is the $2,100 amount. Okay, so you take that $2,100 amount and go up to this document right here, where 2A shows 350. And so you take the 350 plus the 2,100 to come up with the answer, which is C, 2,450. Any questions? Okay, no questions. All right.
Nope.
Number 24. Which of the following can be claimed as a business expense on Julia's Schedule C? Remember, she's a self-employed person and she has some expenses. So of those expenses listed, which one can Julia claim on her Schedule C? Now,
A.
you know,
A,
okay, which one you say?
A.
A,
A.
Okay, because we know she was speeding, that's on her. She got to pay that out of her pocket. She no need her trying to take it off on Schedule C legally. Okay. Lunches, no. And we know that therefore D would not be the right answer. So yes, A is the correct answer. Anyone have any questions with that answer?
I do have a question. So
Yeah.
which one is Schedule C? I just want to get the basic for me.
Okay, the
Okay.
Schedule C again, and we may
Okay.
need to put up some of those schedules, Karen, as we go along, to show you what those documents actually look like.
Okay.
Again, when you go to tax layer, you have all of those schedules in there, but it is good to know what those schedules are, because there will be people that will come to your site. And what I have been doing for people who are self-employed and who don't really understand or know, I print off Schedule Cs to give to them and show them that these are the areas that you have some expenses by which you can go back and gather together and add up and put on the lines for the Schedule C. So Monica, we will pull up a Schedule C in the IRS Gov site so that we can show that to you you and the others along with the Schedule D. Okay?
Okay. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, the next one. What is the total standard deduction for her business on Schedule C?
25 is next, isn't it?
I'm sorry, girl, I'm going on. I'm
Julia
going with
can
you.
take
You
a
rolling.
student
You
loan
rolling.
interest deduction of 3250. Can she or can she not? Student loan interest, all of the different credits have a max. So this is another credit that taxpayers can get. So student loan interest has a max too. Anyone know what that maximum amount is?
I believe it's 2,500.
Very
Right.
good. Very good.
So that means the answer is false. Right?
Yes, so yeah, B.
Right. Okay.
Okay, now I jump down to 26. Okay, what is the total standard mileage deduction for her business on Schedule C? Okay, so in some of your material, especially at the beginning of it, it gave you some of the new changes for the 23 tax year. And one of those changes told you that the mileage rate is now 65.5 cents. So when you back to and look at her mileage that she gave in the scenario, that total mileage that she gave was 2,500. So one of you to multiply 25 by 65.5 and give me the answer. I know the answer, but I want you to tell me.
It's B.
Okay, so you came up with what did you come up with, Jacob?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had it written down from before, but it's 65.5 times 2,500.
Okay.
Let me do that real quick.
I think it's like 1637 something. Is
Yeah.
that correct? And we
163,750. Yeah.
right. And what we do is we round up. If it's over 50, you go up. If it's less than 50 cents, you go down. So you're correct. The answer would be B. Any questions with that about that problem? Okay, 27. The amount of Julia's lifetime learning credit is $480. Again, you would work this out because it once you put it in a tax layer, when you come up, the answer would be 480, which would make that answer be A. Questions? Karen, where you going? You going back up?
I was going back up to the problem.
Okay.
I thought I was.
Okay.
The next number 28, what is Julia's additional 10% tax on the early withdrawal from her IRA? That's the question. What is Julia's additional 10% tax on the early withdrawal from her IRA? And I was going back to the problem to
Right, I
read,
got you.
read this part. Julia took an early distribution of $3,000 from her IRA. She used $2,400 to pay her educational expense for the current year. So we're looking at two different figures, 3,000 and 2,400. So out of 3,000, she used 2,400 to pay for her educational expense.
And remember that education is one of the allowances by which you can use your money and not be penalized. So keep that in mind as well.
So you will subtract the 2,400 from the 3,000, that would leave $600.
So the answer would be what?
Is it 240?
No.
Okay.
60. Yeah.
60, that's correct.
60. Okay.
Yeah, like,
Remember,
okay, like you said.
it's 10%. So you're gonna subtract that 2,400 from the 3,000, that leaves $600. So 10% of 600 is
Oh,
60.
yeah. You're right. You're right. I didn't even think of, okay. Thank you.
And you have to know those other
Exceptions.
Thank you, Denise. The other exceptions where a person will not be penalized. Because a lot of times we will be charging and we shouldn't be. We should be filling out that 5329 form to say that they don't have to pay that 10%. How can Julia prevent having a balance due next year? She can increase the withholdings on her W-4. She can make estimated tax payments. She can use the IRS withholding calculator to estimate her withholdings for next year, or all of the above.
All of the above.
Okay. Okay. Number 9.
I mean, any questions about number 8 before we move on to number 9?
David is age 40 and was widowed in 2022, July. He had a daughter, Linda, age 8, who lived with him the entire year. He provided the entire cost of maintaining the household and over half of the support for Linda. In order to work, he pays child care expenses to Uptown Daycare. He purchased health insurance for himself and his daughter through the marketplace. He received a Form 1095A. David and Linda are U.S. citizens and live in the United States. In 2023, this is their Social Security cards, the 134614C. This is his W-2 showing his wages of $36,000. And you can see here, Social Security wages are up. And that's that 1,000 right there in 12A. But they're up 1,000, so that's going to change these figures. He has retirement check, and he does show that $1,000. He has state return information. And this is his interest income and his penalty. His health insurance income, Form 1095A. And his child care credit information. Okay. Who would take number 30?
Is it D?
You tell me.
Well, it was saying that he was widowed. I came up with D.
And now you know to be widowed and claim that you have to have a child, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that why you picked widowed?
Yes.
Well, you're correct. Anyone have a problem with that?
You know, I was thinking that since it just had like July, it didn't have the whole full 12 months. I was gonna say head of household.
Well, widowed is the correct answer for that.
And because she just died, what, she died in 22,
Mm-hmm.
so they have a couple of years, if they have a, depending where they can still get that benefit.
Okay, gotcha.
Had 2 years.
Yeah, I said couple, okay, 2. Okay. All right.
This AGI is what? Gross income, adjusted gross income is what?
And of course, you'd have to
Would it
add,
be? Oh, you have to add 1,000 to it.
You really would have to, do a tax return or
add
do
it all up
manually. Yeah, add it up.
manually. So
So
the
the
answer would be C. Okay, everyone get that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so number 32. David cannot claim which of the following credits on his tax return? Okay. So you'd look and see the age of the child and other things here to make your decision. So what's our answer?
B.
Okay. Does everyone agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Number 33 says David's retirement savings contribution credit on Form 8880 is, and of course, you have to write in the number. And again, you'd have to go back to the problem and put that information in the system in order to come up with your answer. And your answer on this one would be 100. And Karen, go back up to the W-2, please. When you work out the problem, see that alphabet D, that's why we have to be very careful when we're preparing a tax return. Whatever is on the W-2, you find that place on the return and put it there so that all credits can be correctly calculated. So he would get 10% of that $1,000, which is how we came up with that $100 as the answer. Any questions about that?
Because going back to that, when you're doing the W-2, I've seen people not put the D, but they would put a DD, which would go, which would
Insurance.
change the whole answer.
Mm-hmm.
So just be careful when you're typing in alphabets. Sometimes the computer will double it.
Okay, number 34. the amount of David's net premium tax credit on Form 1040, Schedule 3, Line 9 is $696. So go back to our 1095A. Okay, this form here, normally, put it like this. In some cases, a person may not have been covered for the whole year. And so the answer would not be as easily calculated as it is for us on this problem. On this problem, what you would do is take column A minus column C, and your answer is 696. So your answer for number 34 would be A. But again, like I said, when you're preparing a tax return, please make certain that you put in every line from the 1095A, because there are some times that they may have not had full coverage. And so that's why you have to put in all of those figures. Any questions? Okay. Number 35. David's child and dependent credit from Form 2441. Again, that's the form for the child care, and that will be populated from or in the software once you put it up there for the form. Again, this form can be found on the irs.gov website.
What's the age of the child that where a taxpayer would qualify for that form? What's the age of the child have to be? Hello?
They thinking.
It's a certain age. They can't go over a certain age. If they be over a certain age, they cannot qualify to even complete this form.
13.
Is it?
Huh?
13.
Less than.
Less than 13.
Yes. So 12 and down.
So you would look at the age of the person, and then you would answer this question.
And again, by this being a non-refundable credit, meaning that if that person's tax is already zero, they don't even need to fill this out, because they're not going to get any more money. It's a non-refundable credit. Now, if this had been earned income credit, they could get more money because that's a refundable credit. But this is a non-refundable credit. So a lot of times, you know, taxpayers, oh, I forgot to bring my child care information. Well, sometimes you can already tell that tax is going to be zero according to their income. But sometimes you have to work it out and then just tell them that it does not help. And explain why. Any questions?
Wait a minute, so your answer is A. Now, do anybody have any questions in reference to those two scenarios that we went over?
Can I just say, you said was the only age is 12 and under in order to get this credit. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. That's all I need.
Anyone else have any questions? And did everybody get number 7?
Yes, ma'am.
So we're through with this, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. What about the site coordinators test? Has everybody taken that?
Yes, ma'am, I took it.
I haven't taken mine yet, but I'm gonna take it.
Who?
Monica.
This Monica. Yes, ma'am.
So, but you already got the answers.
Yes, ma'am. I'm finna do it now.
Okay, okay. Okay. So we're through with the testing, right, Denise?
We're through with the test. What I'd like for you to do, since we said we were gonna do it, let's go into the IRS site and pull up, just let them see the forms, the C, the A, the D, and the 5329.
Hey, is it possible that we can like go over how to input in the tax return since this is like my first time, if possible?
We can.
Okay, because the one I was left off on was the Matthew and Rebecca in the tax return.
So what scenario was that? 7?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
What is she? What
No,
am I-
she wants to actually go into the practice lab and see the return.
Okay. She want to go into Lincoln Line.
Right.
While we're here, has everybody gone into, no, I guess you have not. I guess my question would be tax layer.
Well, we can do that after we do this.
Well, I'm finna do it now.
Oh, go ahead.
That's why.
Yeah,
now-
this is tax layer, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. Has everybody gone into tax layer?
So I've gone into the practice lab
Yes.
where you're at now, but that's about it. Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's the same.
All right.
Yeah, it's the same thing. What I was gonna say was, you still have the same menus over here to the left. And you still have this right here, those tabs. But what I was gonna say was to start a new return, you would go here and put the social security number here and here. But since I've already input the return, I would go to the client search. And here it is right here. Did
So go,
everybody?
yeah, go into that return so we can walk them through it.
Okay. But if you would look at this is what you're gonna be doing. When you input a return and you leave, you get out of that return, you come back to it. You're gonna see something that looks just like this. But your name is gonna be here. Your username. And this might be another status. Okay, this is the return.
Karen, if you don't mind, let's go to the actual beginning.
Which is after you put the social in, like I just showed you, then you would go to the filing status and put in the filing status. Then you would type the name in, social security number, date of birth. Now the name right here, if it's a joint return or you were inputting a dependent's name, the last name of the primary taxpayer is gonna be here. So make sure you look at that good, because you need to change it if that child's last name is different. these are the different different things you can check to make sure, according to what you're working on. The taxpayer might can be claimed as a dependent on someone else's return. It might be over 18, it might be blind, deceased. All of this depends on who you're working with.
I got a question. Is those boxes, is it based off like the intake form?
Yes,
Okay, gotcha.
that's why the intake form is very important. Now, you might check this one because that person might be over 18 and a full-time student. They might be 21. You know, you would check that box. If the person is blind, you can check that box. So
Cameron,
it's just,
check deceased and let's see what happened. Check deceased. So you
then
see
you
what
put the
happened.
date of birth, date of death, I'm sorry. And then if you want the communications to be other than English, you would check here. And then you will select what language you want.
So I got a question. Was any one of those boxes supposed to been checked on here? Cause I checked the one that said taxpayer wishes to contribute $3 to the presidential campaign.
It might, yeah, it probably was.
Okay, I just making sure. Okay.
Mhm. This is the wife's name, and like I say, sometimes the wife's name might be different. So just make sure when you do type in that other spouse's name, that that last name agrees with what's on their Social Security card. And the Social Security number and the date of birth, their occupation, and again, enter these boxes that apply to the person. Their address, zip code, and that'll generate the city and state, and their telephone number and their email address. And you will hit continue. If they have a dependent, you put the dependent here. This is the information that you will fill in. Again, make sure that last name is correct. Make sure their year of birth is correct. Ask them, so they were 13 last year, so they were 21 last year, so they were 5 last year. Their Social Security number. Yes, they were a citizen, and what relationship, how many months. This person was over 18 and a full-time student. Continue. Continue. And if they have a PIN, this is where you would put their PIN number. In here, one of these boxes. W-2. This is the W-2 information. With holdings and all that. There's that D, $1,000, retirement. That's state information. I don't think 1099-R. This was Rebecca's 1099-R. She put in 20,000, but it was a joint annuity, and we did the simplified method.
So click that so they can see that, please.
This is the plan cost. This is the start of the annuity. And this is what you check, if it's a joint or survivor annuity. Check, make sure you check this box. This is their ages together. How many months that they received it. The amount that they putting in, and like we said earlier, sometimes the taxpayer don't know this amount. And you would.
Can I ask a question?
Uh-huh,
Okay, so that was from the 1099R, right?
yes.
Cause I know it when I type it in, it has like the RBR. Is that
No,
something?
that's railroad.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
railroad. Uh-huh.
Gotcha. Okay. It's just the 1099R, the distribution from pension, right?
Right.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, anybody else got any questions about that form? Cause I know that can be sort of
Here it
tricky.
is right here. RRB, don't, it was this one up here. I mean, wait a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
It's this one right here.
Okay.
This one. This is railroad. People that get pensions from the railroad. This is Social Security. And I put that Social Security in here, hers. Other income. Yeah, jury duty, so that was in there. Right here. On this drop down, there it is right there, jury duty. $200. That cancellation of debt. Right here. $850. Educator expense. Can't go over 300. I don't think I finished this, Denise.
It's okay. It's okay. I think they're getting the gist. No, it's okay. I did. They're getting the gist of it. I wanted them to actually see how we arrived at those answers and what we put where. So I think that gives them a pretty good picture as to what it is and how it is that they will be able to input that in. So make sure that you all, if you have any questions, we're here for you. We're trying to make sure that you understand. Because hands-on is the best way to get it, but at least you're getting close to it right here.
And up under income, you'll see all the different forms that you can complete. W-2, 1099-G.
Go into
Schedule-
that one. Go to that one. Go no, not the.
Oh, don't.
No, don't go into that one. Go into the 1099. Yeah.
Schedule B. This
Yeah.
is
Yes, the B.
interest income, dividends, and
Mhm.
distributions.
Right.
Then you would, if it's interest or dividends, you would check that, and then you will fill out the form. I didn't do it, so.
Yeah.
1099, 8915. This is that's past us now. This is when that COVID, people, they were getting 3 years to pay on their pension withdrawal because they had put so much toward COVID a particular year, and they had 3 years to pay on it. This is unemployment, which, you know, some is taxable in some years and some years it's not. The 1099 miscellaneous NEC, these are scheduled, this is a Schedule C.
Go to
This
that
is
Schedule C. Yeah. Mhm.
This is the entity part. You put the business code here. It probably is not gonna let me.
Now click the code so they can see. Click the codes.
Okay.
No, the up above there.
Oh, shoot.
Wait, yeah.
this is where you have to find out what a person's business, what kind it was, and then you put that code in.
Miss Smith or Miss Williams. I know that I saw that she had something simplified. Why did she simplify something on her?
You back at the 1099 hour.
Because they didn't know how much was taxable. Most of
Okay.
the time, when people get pensions, the gross distribution and the taxable amount, a lot of times is the same.
Okay.
But if you look down to where they contributed, that will let you know if it's tax, what you need to do.
Okay,
If
so
they-
Karen,
if they have
let me say this. I'm looking
taxable
at the actual problem here. And so on this 1099 hour, in box 1, as shown on this shared document here, you have the $20,000 there. But on the document on 2B, they said they have check taxable amount not determined. And so since they could not determine it,
Right
then
here.
we have to determine it for them by clicking the simplified and going back to answer those questions.
And the simplified is checking this here. I want to click here to make changes.
Okay.
And when I clicked there, that's when I went to the simplified method. Anybody got any questions? Because I know that's gonna come up with people at the sites. Because
But
that
go into the pencil, Karen, so we can go back to this worksheet. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so in this problem, when you look at it, 9B says 15,000. So 9B is the amount that's up there at the plan cost. So that's why you have to be very careful when you're looking at these documents and put in everything. And of course, you can't answer that question under that 15,000. You're gonna have to ask them. And I know someone gonna say, "Oh, I've been retired so long." They got to give you some information so that you can complete the rest of this.
as
Because
long as you look, when you tell them that this is gonna help them not pay as much taxes on that amount, they'll come up with something.
if not on this particular one, if they didn't give you the answers or we didn't have this, we would end up charging them tax on that whole $20,000 and they would be getting cheated.
So this is their taxable amount. Anybody have any questions? Up under the miscellaneous forms, you're gonna have these forms, which you probably may not come in contact with. The 4868 maybe at the end of the tax season, but other than that, you had a pen. If you don't fit it out in that other place, here it is here. Other miscellaneous forms, with you, I don't think you're gonna come in contact with any of that. Just make sure on the Social Security that you do put the Medicare in there, the premiums that they pay for Medicare. And don't get it confused with the withholdings. Some people just pay Social Security just to file taxes just to get their withholdings back that they put into their Social Security.
I have a question. Okay, so I see on Rebecca's her 1099R. What if it is asking for the payers 10 and the but it's not on here?
Okay, so what happened on this document, at the beginning, it told us to make up the number.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Okay,
on every document that you get
okay,
for a W-2 or 1099, any of those forms, they should have some type of 10 or ID number in there.
Yeah, it
okay.
is.
Was that on the 1099? Because I had printed off so I can see it a little better than what
It
it
was
is.
not on the 1099, but they did tell us
Okay,
at the beginning when we were taking these tests,
okay,
that you, it says when entering social security numbers or employee identification numbers, replace them with X's as directed with any other 4 digits of your choice. So
okay,
as long as you had numbers in there, you were gonna be okay.
okay. Yes, ma'am.
Because if you didn't, and you put the wrong numbers, like for a person who comes to the site, if you put the wrong number in there, that's not the right number for that employer or whomever, it's going to be a reject. And we don't like those. So yes, ma'am, you're
Yes.
gonna have
Okay,
enough.
thank you.
This is the healthcare information. If you put yes, then it's gonna ask all these questions. You have to fill out the rest of it. Are you required to repay all of it? I just put no. Do all forms 1095A include coverage from, and if you say yes, then you can just put those 3 totals that was on that 1095 right here. Those totals that was on that 1095A.
Mhm.
And they're gonna give you notes. So please read the notes. It's telling me I didn't finish the health insurance. I don't want to fix it, so anything else on this, Denise, you think?
Well, go back. Okay, well, if it'll let you go back to show them where if they got a refund, where they would be on the summary or whatever, the page, if it'll let you do it.
It's not, because I didn't finish.
Just click some, fix it.
Give me those 3 numbers.
Okay, because there was another. Let me
Oh, that
go
was
to-
another one.
That was a number. It's okay. It's okay. We just trying to show them what is what.
Well, I can just put up some here.
Yeah, just put some up there.
Huh?
Ooh, ain't like your number. Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay.
There we go. It's complete. Now go. Yeah.
See over here, it
There it is.
shows you what they're gonna get back for a refund. Up here by the name, if you click down, you can put notes. So you can put a note here saying that note name, healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
and say completed. No, I say form 1095A.
Click save. Mhm.
Oh, I don't want to add.
No, you want to cancel that.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. And then you can click show notes for this page only. But I can't get out of it. I just put save.
But you had say, but it's not letting you.
It's not letting me out. Okay.
There you go.
So this is the summary of the return showing the name, the address, and the dependent.
Go back to the top, Karen. Go back to the top. Okay, so you see the age. See the age? Yeah. How old the people were for that year. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. And if you want to add the state return, the state, because it was state information at on the W-2, you should add, put a state return in here. Mhm. Okay, this is a time we need to take a break.
The computer says tired.
Uh-huh. Any questions? When I get into a return, I'm always looking at this right here and make sure there's no numbers there. You don't want any numbers there. That means that your return rejected. And like I say, client status, website, mailing address. Some of this would be good for you to know. I never used a withholding calculator. I've used this, and you can print blank IRS forms here. You can ask some questions. And if you have suggestions, you can put that here. The blog, which is this information that will let you know what's going on with TaxSlayer. I was going to show you. Oh, that's in the 4012. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Let's take a 10-minute break. What time is it?
7:26.
Oh, shoot.
7:20. Almost 7:30.
So, what, 7:35 or 7:40?
7:40.
7:40.
Mm-hmm.
We will start back up at 7:40.
Yes, ma'am.
Denise, I was already in my share screen. Denise.
Okay, I'll take it down. You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, 7:40. I just wanted to show one other item before Denise get into the forms. We were talking about certification. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows to look over here to the right after you have completed your test. Then
I
you
don't
can.
think you're sharing your screen right now, or I can't see it.
Oh,
Didn't think so. That's why I did it, Carol.
I was already in share screen, and then I don't know if yours just let me see.
Yeah, it was working a
Knocked
few
it
minutes
off.
ago.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, let me go back. I have been knocked out, I think.
Want me to go ahead or what?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay, so can everyone see this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the Schedule D that we talked about on one of the other problems. And so I wanted you to see what the Schedule D is. I'm gonna attempt to pull up another one. Stop sharing. Okay, and so this is the Schedule C. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay, so this is, as we talked about, of course, you would put the name of the person, their, the social security number, and from that list that we showed you that populates, then their number would go here in this area, identifying what type of business that they are in. And of course, you'd have their name and address. But what's more important is this is the income area here. And so this is the form I was saying that when people come to you, you may have some beauticians, some construction people who do yard work, any of those things. And so they would be like, well, I don't know how to report it. So you could print off this form for them, and it shows the different expenses that they may have that will be allowed so that they can gather their records and have these numbers for you. Because as I stated in one of the other classes, we are not their accountant. We're not going to add up their figures for them. And there are some people who will try you. They will come with large paper sacks full of receipts and what have you, but we don't operate along that way, okay? So that's the Schedule C and the Schedule D. Let me pull up another one for you here. Okay, and this is the itemized deductions form. Of course, since they've changed a lot of rules and regulations, as far as what you can or cannot take off, for itemizing, there are not a lot of people who are able to use this form. But again, this is a form that, will populate into, tax layer when you enter the form number over to the left-hand side, and you would enter this information. And in fact, it'll walk you through and ask you, did you have any medical expenses, the home mortgage, whatever it is, the real estate taxes up here, and the contributions down here. So all of that will just, when you finish putting it into tax layer, it will populate onto this form here, which will be a part of the tax return that you are completing. Are there any questions? Okay, let's see what else we got for you. Okay, Karen, you can go on with the what, 4012? They don't have any questions about those forms?
You got out of it, Denise?
Yes, I'm out.
Okay. I'm gonna share this, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, okay. What I was trying to say earlier was, when you finish your test, to go over and have some boxes over here to the right. I've already signed mine. So that's why my name and date have generated. But if you click here, all they need is this page here that'll show what courses you passed. That's all they need. They don't need that first page, because this will have your name and address and everything on it. Any questions on this?
And remember, you
Yeah.
must sign and date it.
Okay, so do we give this back to the person who is over the program and that we
They're gonna
that we
ask for it, and then
Okay.
plus when you go to, if you go to another site, you should already have a copy of this
Okay.
signed to give to that site coordinator if you go to another site and work.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Okay, gotcha.
And let me say also, this form, you're going to give this to the person at United Way, and they will sign it and give it back to you.
This
And
is
you,
where they sign it.
and then you should keep a copy of this with you at all times at your site, because if you're reviewed, they're going to be looking for this form along with other things as they do your review.
And if you want to go into another test to take, you would just click on it, go down to it, click on it, and then you would click the launch. Say if you want to take military or whatever, that's how you would do it. Any questions on that? Okay. Okay, the 4012 is a good book to have. It gives you all of tax information. If you look at the, and it's all, like I said, all the publication starts out with the volunteer standards of conduct, which are those 6 items that we should follow. But it gives you all of your, the information about income, dependents, who should file, starting a return, filing status, all this good information. If you have any problems, it spells it out in here, along with the 4491 and the Pub 17. But at the end of it, it shows you how to get into TaxSlayer, which we just did. And I'm just pointing this out so you'll know where you can go. And then you will sign in, and then you have to be verified, either by your cell phone or your email, because they're going to give you a code. And then it goes to the home page.
Is this different from the practice lab?
No,
It don't.
no, I think it's the same thing. As far as what's on the left, the difference is you'll be doing live returns. And they have started that already, but they will not accept any returns until the 29th. So we can, if the sites were open, we were originally supposed to open Monday, and we could input returns, but we would have to hold them until the next Monday, the 29th, when IRS will say it's okay to go on and transmit them. But all this information can help you if you have any problems with TaxSlayer. And they also have a user guide, TaxSlayer does. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Any questions on anything?
Yeah, I had a question. It was not really related to anything here, but when it comes to doing direct deposit, does the taxpayer, they need to have the account number and the routing number? Is there anything
Right.
to confirm that it's their account, or it's just having the numbers is enough?
Well, most of the time, if they don't have a check, with the information on it,
Yeah.
then we have to take their word.
All right.
And the only thing about that is verifying what they gave you is what's on the return.
All right.
Now, some credit cards, we've had some problems in the past. If I know ACE, it's okay for them, but it's some places, if they don't have a routing number, we cannot do it. Any other questions? Oh, did I get out? Okay.
Since you got out, let me share this if you don't mind. Carol. Let's see, can I get it? Boy. Okay, so can everyone see this?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
this is another one of those problems that we had. And so what I wanted to show you is that when you are preparing a tax return, you see this right here over to the left is Form Finder. So if we wanted to put in let's say 2441, you put that, there it is right there. You click it, and then you're able to complete that form. This is it. Of course, you've got to have the ID number, and you will complete that form. But I wanted to show you, I know we've been talking about a lot of things here, but I want to show you exactly where the form finder is on here for any return or any you know, any type of document that you may want to complete in this form. For get an injured spouse, we do have those. Of course, you click this and it would populate, and you answer the questions as it relates to the person that you are assisting. Again, on this form, for the federal, when you click that, you see we have all of these things here. I know that I had Karen to click the interest and dividend on the document that she was going over. Here is one that we actually did have that on in the scenario. And so you end up going in and you entered the information from the documents that you had, the name, the TIN and all of that. And then whatever that dollar amount was there, you put it there, and you just follow suit with the form that's before you to complete the document. Is there any questions? Again, here we've got in the scenario that we had, she had to do a Schedule C, she had a 1099 NEC, and the documents will tell you, you know, they're what they actually are. You put them into the form, and right here, that's where the income would go for that particular document. The capital gains, that was the Schedule D that we discussed. Here it is right here. So you would put that in for her for or for anything that you would have in order that you could complete that tax return. For the deduction, here is this right here. We put $32.50, but of course we know that they're not gonna get the whole $32.50. They're gonna only get what's allowed to them, which is the $2,500. The education credit, we discussed that.
But for the
Okay.
the amount of interest paid, you'd put in what they actually paid, but it would calculate 2,500.
It would calculate, right, right. That's why I went back and put 25, but it would actually, it's gonna only give you the amount that you can get. So if you paid more, you're gonna only get the maximum amount. Okay, so then here's the education credit. And once you put everything in, you answer the questions as they apply. And then
on that education credit, just be sure that you subtract the scholarship money from the amount in box 1. That's on that 1098T. That's what they get from the schools. It's gonna have scholarship amount, and it's gonna have a tuition amount, not tuition, but amount that they have paid in. So you're gonna subtract that scholarship money from that amount.
if it's something there.
Yeah,
And then they may have additional expenses that they can provide you proof of.
right, like computers or books or all that's in the 4012.
Right. But I just wanted, you know, to give you all this one-on-one. Here's this 5329 that we made reference to, where that $2,400, that 10%, we fill that out. It was for higher education. When you click this box here, here is a list of all of the exceptions. And I'm just making you aware so that you will know when you're assisting the clients, you know, where they are and what it is that they can help them to reduce their taxes. Okay, on this one, there was no 1095A, so you proceed on after you answer that question. And then you get a view of the whole return. And I want, I want to go back and show you here on that return, there are schedules. Of course, this page 1, that's the front of the return. Page 2, that's the back of the return. These are the schedules that follow. So you got the schedule 1, where there is a adjustments to income, and it tells you how it's flowing in the return. Still adjustments to the income on the return. So you just click this and you can find out, you know, everything, the self-employment tax that's owed on this return. And then when you've done all that you need to do as far as viewing that 1040, then you go over to the return details. And on this one, I've got her where she's on 760. And so here you have choices. You can click e-file. That client, you've talked to them, they said, well, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna pay them when I get a bill. So you click that. But if there, every once in a while, you may have someone that says, well, I want to pay this now, I want to get this out of my hands. So they will tell you they want to pay it now. They will a lot of times give you their checkbook while they're there, where you can key in the information that is needed in order for this to take place. So let's just say e-file direct debit, and then you go on, and as you go on, it's going to ask you some questions. Okay, so she wants to take it from her checking account. She's gonna tell you, or you're gonna have the bank information, and you're gonna type that in. You're gonna put the routing number here. You're gonna put the bank account number here. Then you have to confirm the routing number. Make sure that this number and this number agrees, otherwise you will get an error. The same way with the account number, you're gonna put it there, and then you're gonna put it here. And then once you finish, you're gonna put the amount. So for this problem, we got 760. So you would put that there, or you can click this, and it would have populated the amount from there. Do you have any questions as it relates to this? And then you're gonna put in the date. The calendar pops up. If this is the date that we're gonna use, we would hit this, and it would go in. You have their phone number, then you'd hit continue. Do we have any questions?
I do have a question.
Yes.
So I see that you just got Julia Oakley right here. Did you do like a separate return for her as well?
This is her return.
Okay, so did you file it together with the spouse or no?
If I'm not mistaken, Julie, let me see. I think Julia Oakley might have been by herself. She was by herself.
Okay, she was by herself. Okay, see, I think
Yeah,
that's
this-
why I was getting it wrong, because I was putting their stuff together. Okay,
Okay,
thank you for that.
who were you putting with her?
I was putting her Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. That's Julia by herself. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the spouse.
It's okay. That's why I'm going
Sorry
back.
about that.
That's why. That's
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Somebody else
Okay.
may be see where we are filing status. She by herself.
Yes. Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Are there any other questions in reference to this problem or anything else that we've gone over tonight?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you click and save and you come on out of here. But now here, as it was pointed out earlier, as you continue to do tax returns, as you can see right here, these are the returns that we had for our scenarios. And so, phone numbers that I made up, I used numbers I made up or that you would make up. When you finish, then at the end, you're gonna have different statuses. And so these right here were complete. But most of the time, once you complete a return, and I guess I need to go in here so I can show you if it'll let me do it, because I may have done it too far and it won't let me do it. But when you finish, it let, you know, you're able to put it in a status where it's showing that it's ready for review. And instead of complete at that page that we just came from, it'll show review so that the quality reviewer can get that return and review it. Let's see if it's gonna let me do it. I might have messed up. By going ahead. But anyway, so are there any questions? And of course, you see this up here, it popped up to let you know. You cannot electronically file this return until well, it says January and the date to be determined, but they have already determined the date. So the date is going to be the 29th. So you cannot submit anything in for return for IRS to process. See right here, I've already hit that, so it's not available for me to show you, but there is some
Go
different,
up, Denise.
huh?
Go up some.
Go up
Yeah, go up.
some more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Okay.
Paper return.
I was thinking maybe that's why. Go, that's all right. That's just an option that they have too.
Right. So right here we got paper returns. So let's just say the person that you're working on, they want to mail theirs in for whatever reason. Maybe they have been a victim of identity theft, or it was a reject that could not be corrected with the information they gave us. So they've got to mail it in. So we would end up clicking paper return, paper file copy, so that we'll know what actually happened with the return, that it wasn't one that we could send in. Of course, as it's been shown here, for the notes, we put in things like Karen used 1095A. So on this one, we would say PIN, and then maybe say client did not have it. So you would do that, or if there was something else that went on, like we do a lot of telephone calling to contact the client. So up here you would put maybe attempted call. And then down here, if you were able to reach them, you would state whatever they said, coming back
We'll
with
be here tomorrow.
information. What you say?
I said we'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah. So you would put that there, and that helps the person who picks up behind you to know, what happened. So it's very important that you put notes in the returns when required to so that we or whomever pick it up, even if a person called with a complaint to Hunter or to Matt, then before they even contact either one of us about this situation, it's already there in the system, and they can see what actually took place. Are there any questions about anything that we've covered on tonight? We want to make certain that we have addressed all of your concerns as it relates to the VITAL program.
I do have something. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask if I could get like separate training for the tax return, just to get a little more extra training after training is over with. Since it's my first time.
Okay, I think what's going to happen, do you know who you were paired up with?
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
I'm sorry, I'm not, who is this? Because I'm on shared screen.
Monica.
Monica. Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
do you know where you're going to be?
No, I don't.
Okay, so this is what has
Hunter
happened in the past. Has
Hunter
been,
and Matt might have something already set up.
yeah, and I was finna say
Okay.
that what they normally do for new people
Yes,
is
ma'am.
before they send you out, they have you to go to one of the stationary sites, such as Karen's site, or to the site where I am on Tillman, and
Okay.
sit with us so that you can get some hands-on, because I understand hands-on is the
Yes,
best
ma'am.
thing for you. So I'm sure
Okay.
that that's what they're going to do.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, someone else
Okay.
was having a question. Was it Jacob?
Well, it was me, and I was just
Oh,
gonna
Hunter.
say thank you for talking about the notes and reemphasize what you were saying. Just encouraging everyone, especially if you're like following up with someone and like their return wasn't completed, whether that be they forgot something and never came back, or it got rejected, we weren't able to get a hold of them. Even if it's something like you attempted to call them to follow up on a rejection, but they don't pick up, just add a note and a timestamp on that. Like that's so helpful, because the returns, we go through rounds to ensure that we file every return. The ones we can't get filed, that we follow up with the taxpayer. But those that do like fall through the cracks where we just can't get a hold of those taxpayers, they'll be calling us back when they haven't gotten their refund money, and it gets to, May, June, July. After we've taken down the sites, they'll be calling our office, and that call will come to me or Matt. And I've had a lot of conversations like that over this past summer, and they are so much easier to have when I can just pull them up in TaxSlayer and say, well, we're sorry you didn't file your return. I can see we called you on this date, we called you on this date, we made an attempt to call you on this date, the issue was here, versus like someone saying, well, I filed with y'all and I never got my refund, and I pull it up and there are no notes, and I'm like, well, I don't know what happened either. I'm so sorry. So all that to say, those notes are an easy thing to forget, but they're so helpful, especially, when we are just, even like I said, even if we're just making an effort, if you're just calling them, you get a voicemail and you can get a hold of them, just put a timestamp for that, because even that documentation is really helpful if I have to have a conversation with them over the summer. So thank you for mentioning those. Those notes are so helpful to me. So please use those.
Okay. Are there any other questions, comments, or concerns? I hope that we covered everything that you needed to have covered, and that this training session has enlightened you and will go with you and help you to have a successful filing season. We gave out our numbers last night, and if you need us, please feel free to call Karen or myself. We'd be more than happy to answer your question. If it's something that we can't answer that pertains to maybe United Way getting back with you, we'll make certain that we direct that to them. Karen?
If there are no other questions, I hope that you all feel okay about this whole session. I know sometimes a lot of information thrown at you at one time make you feel a little overwhelmed, but just remember that we're here to help you, and that we're all here to help the taxpayer. So if no one else has any questions, I think this is the end of it.
I have one more quick question.
Okay.
So when we finish the return and transmit it, do we give the taxpayer a copy of the form, or what, or is that what do we do?
And that was, I had a copy of the envelope that we give the taxpayer to show. Let me show you that right quick. Okay, this is a landscaped envelope. This is where we put the 13614C, the surveys, all this is in the envelope. This is the front of it, and this is the back of it. So just imagine this is a big envelope, and inside that envelope, we have the 13614C and the surveys. So when we finish completing their return, we do give them a copy, and they put all their information back in this envelope.
Okay, so let me jump in here too, Jacob. You asked about e-filing. When the client, after the return has been completed, reviewed, and signed off on, the client leaves. That return would not get e-filed while they're there, because depending on the flow of the traffic, that's something that we end up doing pretty much maybe halfway through your day, if time permits, and it depends on how many people you have at your, volunteers at your site. So they do get transmitted after they're gone, not while they're there.
I thought he was
Alright.
asking about a
Very
copy.
seldom,
Copy.
yeah, he did, he said something about e-file. Very seldom do we electronically file them while they're there, but they do get a copy of their return. They signed off on it. They're on their way.
And so I guess I'll pick up these envelopes along with everything else from
Yes.
next month on
Yes.
Monday.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
That is correct. Yes, sir. Okay,
And,
the
and
other
it does
thing,
have the number on here, you know, if they have any problems, you will tell them that this is the number they will call if they have problems about wondering where their refund is.
And
So-
if they're in
sounds
some
good.
kind of if they're in some situation where they aren't able to e-file, like if they know they have an IP pin, but they don't have it and they don't want to take the effort to go get it, they just want to mail it in, we'll give them 2 copies of the return, one for them to keep as a personal copy and one for them to mail. Make sure that they sign. I honestly just sign both of them. I think it's good practice because they'll have to sign the one that they send in the mail. And you know, the personal copy that they signed, the one we give them at the site, that's really the one that gives us permission to e-file the return or to, you know, to complete the return.
Sounds good.
okay, thank you. Okay, so one thing that I want to point out, as a site coordinator, you want to be mindful of the traffic that's there because we have operating hours and you know how many people that you have there to assist you. So sometimes you may have to cut off the number of people that are coming in order that you can be completed by a certain time. Because there are people, and you're familiar with these people. There are people who will say, I'm going to pay my utility bill. The place closed at 5 o'clock. And here they are at 5 minutes to 5. And it's a whole line of them. So you have to cut off at some point in time.
And that's
Just an
always been a
observation.
problem with us, you know, sometimes we don't know when to cut off, or we hadn't noticed how many people were there. And that will make you end up staying much longer than you intended to. So you really have to be aware of how many people you're servicing.
Kara,
Mhm.
one of the things that we did at South Library, when we had a whole lot of people that come in, we would let them know about how many people that we could get to that day. And then we would have a list for the following Saturday if they wanted to sign up for the next Saturday.
Mm.
That's a good
And
practice
that,
for you, Ella. Yeah, because you
Huh?
only, I said that's a good practice for you because you're only there on Saturday. I don't
Right.
know if that would more or less work for us because the first thing they're gonna say, I can't come back tomorrow. I got to go to work. I took off today. You know, those kind of things. So,
Yeah,
that's something
well,
to think
it
about.
worked well at South for us because
yes.
the very next Saturday we would start with those people that was there the week before, and we
Yes.
made the taxpayer know that they wasn't being skipped over or anything, that those people were there the week before.
Mm.
Okay.
Any other site coordinators want to say anything?
Just want to say thank you for offering these trainings.
My pleasure.
Okay.
One day I was in your shoe. It's been many days ago, but one day I was in your shoe.
And you really won't really see it until you really get out there and get with the people and go to a site and see what happens. It'll all fall in line. Any other questions?
Again, we thank you for being here on tonight as well as the other nights. We welcome you and appreciate that you decided to come aboard with us as volunteers for the United Way to assist the people in the communities. And so I hope that you will continue to be safe, warm, and as comfortable as you possibly can. And we look forward to, since we didn't get a chance to actually meet you in person, when we do, we can associate the name with the face.
Is Matt still on here?
I
Or did
don't
he
think
get up?
Hunter is.
Okay, because I wanted to say, I finished my certifications, but when you click to sign, it's like giving me like an error on the page. So should I just screenshot that I finished it? Or?
Well, I don't know, Hunter, is that still, that we still are having problems? Is that not correct?
That's as far as I'm aware, Lincoln Learn as a whole is still having a lot of issues. So what you're experiencing could just be part of that. I would say for now, yeah, you can save a screenshot of it, but just try and like log in later or maybe log in with a different browser to see if you can get it to work. But yeah, for now, just screenshot that you've got it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, I'm sorry about, I don't know what's going on with Lincoln Learn, y'all, but they're working on it. But other than what I sent y'all in that email earlier this afternoon, they really haven't given us a whole lot of information either, other than they've got a lot of problems with it and they're working on them. But hopefully they'll get that resolved here pretty soon because it's a big step.
Thank you, Hunter.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, so Hunter, we are pushing this back to start date right now, as far as we know, to what, Wednesday?
Wednesday, unless we get more snow and things change, we're planning to start things up on Wednesday. So that Monday and Tuesday, the United Way staff and myself will be in the office giving out the materials, so people have a chance to come get them, get their site set up, and then our goal is to start doing returns on Wednesday.
Okay, so also I would like to know if you would be, if you haven't already done so, prepared a list of the site coordinators and their contact information that you can give to us.
Oh yeah, for sure. We have that. I can share that with y'all.
Okay. I'm finished, Karen.
And the mobile people too, Hunter.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they're on that list, but I'll double check.
Yeah,
and
they
make
be
sure
on that
everyone's-
list too, because they're site coordinators, yeah.
Mhm.
All the site coordinators, yes.
Well, we welcome everybody aboard and we will have a successful filing season.
Amen.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, good night,
Yeah.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank y'all so much.
Good night.
You're
Thanks.
welcome.
Thank you.